Taking notes. When we read a lot of information that we want to remember, we often have to write it down or we will forget. The process of writing things down so that we won't forget is called taking notes. Taking notes helps us understand the information better and helps us organize information. Taking organized and neat notes is important because we do not want to write down everything we hear, but rather just the most important points. If we just write down the most important points, we will need to organize them in a way that helps us make sense of the notes and the information. The notes need to be neat because if we can't read our writing, then there is no point. There are many types of readings. There are readings that compare things, explain parts and concepts, present processes and events that happen over time. For different types of readings, we should choose different ways of organizing our information. These are some different graphic organizers to help us organize information. A flowchart or timeline shows us a process or events over time. A T-chart shows us problems and their solutions, causes and their effects, pros or benefits and advantages, and cons, negative or disadvantages. Or any time there are two sides of a topic that we want to see and compare side by side. There's also the traditional outline. It's a great way to organize any information that shows important or main ideas and details about the main ideas. There's also a mind map. The mind map allows us to draw out a map of our thoughts and ideas. This is great for things we need to describe and draw and put into categories or sections. There's also a Venn diagram, which is great for comparing similarities and differences. I encourage you to practice by finding a reading passage and applying one of these organizing templates. Next, I will show you how each one of these graphic organizers look like and templates that you can use. This is an example of a timeline. You can see that it is used here to show readers the order of important events that happened during the American Revolution from 1619 all the way to 1781. This is an example of a flowchart. You can see that it is used here to show readers the process of waking up and getting out of bed. This is an example of a T-chart. As you can see, it is organized to look like a T. You can also see here that it is used to show readers what working with a partner looks like and sounds like. An example of a traditional outline. You can see that it is used here to write a 5-paragraph speech with the first paragraph as the beginning of the speech or the introduction. The second, third, and fourth paragraphs are the main points of the speech, which makes up the body of the speech. And finally, the third paragraph is the conclusion or the end of the speech. This is an example of a mind map. You can see that it is used here to describe and illustrate what good health looks like and requires. The illustrator shows that to have good health, you must be concerned about 5 things: sleep, stress, diet, exercise, and resources, or knowing who to call when you need help. The illustrator is also able to show us what happens if you don't get enough sleep, if you have too much stress, if you don't eat enough fruits and vegetables, and also if you do exercise enough. We can also see what is required to keep ourselves healthy in each of those areas of concern. The illustrator used many colors and graphics to help with the organization. Green stems and branches are related to sleep, pink is related to stress, orange is related to diet, blue is related to exercise, and green is related to resources or who to call for help. Finally, this is an example of a Venn diagram. You can see that it is used here to compare whales and fish. The red circle shows characteristics or traits of whales. The blue circle shows characteristics or traits of fish. The area where both the blue and the red circles intersect or overlap or run into each other shows all the characteristics or traits that both whales and fish have in common. The area of both circles that do not intersect or overlap each other shows the characteristics or traits that are different